Hey people, what's going on? How's it going? This video is going to be an attempt at me keeping my word. You know, like the manly thing to do. So, I'm gonna, like I said in a few of my previous videos, I'm going to try to make a, commentary-like videos about gaming subjects. Probably maybe once, maybe twice a week, in addition to all the normal Let's Play videos and stuff that I put out on my channel. So, let's see what to talk about. Alright, since it had its DLC release recently, let me talk about Destiny and my thoughts on it. I know I made an impressions video earlier, before the game actually came out, after playing the beta, and after the fact, after playing it since its release and everything, pretty much everything that I said in my impressions video about my negativity towards the game or my fears about the game pretty much came true. It didn't have a lot of content, and what content it did have was piss poor at best. So I'm just gonna let all my hate out about the game because I really like it. I'm really big into sci-fi, really big into shooters, and have been I'm not gonna say a huge Bungie fan, but I've been a fan of theirs since before they made Halo. Back when they made Oni and 𝐥𝐤𝐤 and the couple of other games they made. So I don't know what happened during this, development of Destiny, but going into it, I was expecting pretty much like a new Mass Effect. At my 100% best of what I was hoping for the game, I wanted a new Mass Effect, meaning a new sci-fi game to come out that everybody jumps into, that creates a whole nother universe for you to explore in. But that is not what we got. What we got was the most bullshit ass game ever in the history of first-person shooters. I mean, I can't think of a game that's fundamentally more broken in the aspect of, I'm not going to say mechanics, because the mechanics are solid, but as far as game design, what you get for your money, and I know that's going to be subjective, I'll touch on that a little bit later, but it was just bad, man. Like, I mean, and they were making the vid docs for it, and before the game came out, everybody was getting pumped about it, and then when you sat down and played it, and it was just like, what the fuck? I mean, everybody was saying the same shit. Like, it felt like they made a game and then cut content out of it. And that's how it felt. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like I know me. Like, I bought the game. Like, I'm not somebody who just, rented the game. No, I bought the game twice. I bought the game once for myself, once for a friend of mine, because he don't really play games like that anymore. But I bought it for him. And I bought him another PlayStation 4, besides buying myself one to play, to play games with him and everything. And what we got, it was just like a piss poor campaign, a multiplayer that's decent if you're into Halo style of games, but it's half-assed. Like, and I'm gonna touch on the campaign stuff, then I'm gonna touch on the multiplayer stuff, and then my final thoughts about the game. So, as far as the campaign goes, it had no variation. The missions had no structure. Hell, the game didn't even have what I would assume the definition of a story was. And that's the problem. I mean, it was nothing there. It gave you a premise. It told you who you were, vaguely. And then, as you played through the game, it made fun of itself for not telling you certain information. like the speaker at the beginning of the game, when when you get to him, oh, I could tell you about the Great War, I could do this, I could do that. I'd be like, well, why don't you? Because I have no fucking idea why I'm here. And the one exo chick later on you meet in the game who was like, I don't even have time, I don't even have time to explain why I don't have time to explain. It's like, what the fuck? I mean, that was like the part where you could interject some story to actually make it, better and everything. But didn't tell you really nothing. It didn't tell you who you were. It didn't tell you what the darkness was. Didn't tell you why Guardians were getting their ass whooped. I'm just saying, if you at that scientific stage where you can re-energize and program matter to fit whatever you want and resurrect people from the dead, how did you fucking lose? But, you know, plot holes in the story. Didn't make no sense. As far as the multiplayer, it's decent. It's nothing groundbreaking. I find it incredibly fun because I like the Halo style of shooters, let's say more so than Call of Duty. And you get the powers, the sci-fi, the upgrading your armor, the better gear. I mean, I love all of that shit. But and it hurts my heart because it's like I like the game so much, and it's one of those things where it's like I love it for what it is meant to be, but I hate it for what it is. If that makes any kind of sense. And it just didn't feel right. Even like people who play the game, they're either split on what they like about the game. It's either they like PvP or they like the PvE stuff. I don't even have a problem with that if the PvE was on par. Like if it had a story, gameplay elements. Like if they gave you a PvE experience that was like, yo, look, it's like Borderlands 2. It don't have to be funny, but Borderlands had a less of a story, but the gameplay was fun. The missions were varied. You had all the different stuff you can do in the story of Borderlands. You know, if they gave you, that's what I was expecting about the world that you visit. And from what I hear, apparently that's what the game was supposed to be. And because I know a few leaked documents got leaked out, and I don't know if this was legit or not. I mean, everybody's taking it with a grain of salt, but it fits what happened with the game, so maybe it is true or not. But people were saying that the game had that they fully made the game, and that a year before it came out, they started cutting out content, and they basically ass raped the story of this game and took its virginity from it. I mean, it's just like they raped everything from it for some reason. And I used to think, well, okay, well maybe they're cutting corners for DLC because they don't have the time to work on it, but I don't think that's the case, because even after the DLC, like this past one just dropped, what's it called, The Dark Below. You're starting to see a lot of shady shit that Activision would do behind the scenes with the game. Like the DLC came out and they took away the Nightfall strikes. It's like, what the fuck? That's been in the game since launch. Why would they do that? And certain aspects of the game you see where it's just not on par with other games. Like with the multiplayer, it's decent, but it's lacking when it comes to game types. You have like 3 or 4 game modes, and that's it. In a game where you can have, make up new game modes or whatever, but they just don't. It's like you only have 4. It's like, why? And a lot of the other things that go on with the game, it's like they're fixing problems that should have been fixed when the game launched. I'm like, hold on, you've been working on this game for 3 years, had like millions and millions of dollars behind your budget. Like, this game should have been more fucking perfect than Call of Duty should be perfect every year because of how much money it makes. And it wasn't. It was just, like I said, it's piss poor. It's a fun game, but the people who play it people don't communicate half the time, and it's probably due to Bungie not having an in-game chat system and everything like they should have. I mean, I know they have one now, but it should have been in, and should have been there day one. But the community now is kind of sort of jaded, where like you might jump into a strike with somebody, and half the time they don't talk, they just run to the end, just to get the experience, because the grinding is so difficult in the game that's all you really play for. It's grinding, or you want to shoot people in multiplayer. That's it. So gameplay, there's no mission structure in the game. The missions don't go from one mission to another. You just playing the game, doing challenges and bounties. That's it, the whole time. And even those aren't really good. Like, it would be different, like if you have, like, I'll give you guys a prime example. If you had the exotic strikes, not the strikes, but the bounties. If you guys have played the game and you got exotic weapons, you know what I'm talking about. Those are decent. Those are great bounties to do. Granted, some of them are long as fuck, but besides that, if the normal everyday challenges or weekly challenges that you get were like those, it would be a hell of a lot better. But it's not. And the only really decent things in the game is the raids. But the problem was the raids should have been the regular mission structure of the game and the missions you play in the game. So it's like, rather than being just one or two of them, you know, on every planet or something. But it's not. It just feels piss poor. It feels cut up, and I'm assuming. I mean, I know I'm gonna sound like a Call of Duty fanboy, but I'm assuming it's gonna get better next time, because whatever problems during development that they may have went through probably is not gonna be there for Destiny 2, and I'm assuming it's gonna be better, and that things are gonna be better when they make it, because this game's like they're gonna make a franchise out of it. I mean, you got millions of people playing it, you know, day in, day out. So I know they're gonna make tons of money off of it. But anyway, that's my initial thoughts on it. My first commentary video. Like I said, I'm gonna try to pump these out twice a week. So if you guys have any comments or any topics you want me to talk about, let me know down there in the comments below. I'll see you later. Peace out.